Hello everyone, welcome back to How To's by the Code House, and today I'm going to be creating a home page which has links at the top along with a nav bar, and what we're going to do is actually use those links to link to other files that will display as a web page on the browser. So I'm actually going to only have one web page that I'm going to link to. However, today is more just about creating the home page and just linking to the sign up form that I created 2 or 3 videos ago. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing that we need to do is open up VS Code, which is a code editor. And if you don't have VS Code, go ahead and download it. It is free, and it's a really good code editor that you can use. So you can go ahead and download it, and once you've got it ready, you can open it up. And once you click on this top left file icon right here, then you'll see a button probably that says open a folder. So you want to open a folder. Once you've opened a folder, you can actually create new files inside it, and you'll be able to view that in your file explorer. So what I'm going to do is actually create 2 new files, and you can do this as well, home.html. And also create another one called home.css. So these are the only 2 files that we're going to use, that we're actually going to be placing markup in. However, we are also going to be using this signup.html and signup.css to link to. So before we do that, we actually need to create this web page. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually create the boilerplate using Emmet, and just type in HTML:5 and hit tab. That should create this boilerplate for you, which we're going to use right away. So open up this file, and once you've typed that in, hit tab. Then you can actually change all of this. So I'm going to change the title to become home, and the body is going to actually have whatever markup our web page is going to have. So open up your file explorer and right click on the home.html file, and then click in reveal in file explorer. That should show that file in your file explorer, and double click on that, and that should open up a empty file for you on your browser. So go ahead and open it up and just keep it there. We're going to come back to it once we're actually updating this HTML file. So inside this body, the first thing we need to do is actually, before we do that, link to our CSS file. So create a link with the href to become home.css. And that is the path to my CSS file, respective to my HTML file. It may depend if your file structure is different. However, usually HTML and CSS files are on the same or in the same directory, so it won't be much of a problem. So the next thing that we need to do, if you refresh the page, you're not going to see any difference. However, there is a difference. That is the CSS file is linked to this HTML file. So inside this body tag, the first thing we need to do is create a nav bar, and the way we do that is today I'm going to be using Bootstrap 5, and if we go ahead to Bootstrap's docs, so Bootstrap 5 right here, getting started, introduction. Once you scroll down right over here, you'll see a CSS section, sort of. And you'll also see a link that you can copy right away and paste underneath or above your home.css link. So you need to make sure that this comes first, then the home.css file link. We're also going to use their JavaScript sort of option as well, so that we can use some of the JavaScript required elements that Bootstrap gives us as well. So let's go ahead and refresh the page. Hopefully the script should also be inside it. If we open up the toolbar, you see right here there are no errors. So once we do that, we'll go ahead and search in Bootstrap's docs for a nav bar. But if you, instead of doing that, if you actually go here and you scroll down, you'll see a starter template. We don't need this because we've already almost finished up everything that we need. So you just need to go here and search for navbar, and that should get you to the navbar web page. So if you scroll down, you will see this navbar, this sort of default navbar, and if you actually resize the window, the navbar will break, and you'll actually have to click this toggle button, which opens the navbar. So that's something that Bootstrap does by default, and it does require JavaScript. So be sure to use this script solution as well as the CSS link. So if you scroll down a lot, you'll actually see a lot of different color schemes and everything. The color scheme that we're going with today is this sort of primary color scheme. It looks pretty good, and it is what we're going to use. So we will go ahead and select this nav. But all that is basically exactly what this is, right over here, just with a different color. So let's go ahead and create this navbar using this markup. So copy it and just paste it right underneath your body starting tag. Now when I refresh the page, if our JavaScript is enabled, when I resize the window and I click this, it should show the other links, and it does. So everything is working currently, and we're all good to go to actually update all of these. So if we go to our markup and you see these links, there are a few links that we actually don't need. So we're going to change it to contact. Basically the usual links that you see on most websites. Login, and then you have a sign up. So I'm going to get rid of this and just copy another one. And the specialty of sign up is actually going to have an href to an actual file. Currently we're not going to do anything, but we'll just see how it looks like. So it looks like this, and it's not bad. However, we want to change it to a different color, and the way they did that here is by giving it a class of BG primary and navbar dark. So currently it's navbar light. We want to change it to navbar dark and change it to BG primary. These are all Bootstrap classes. So now you can see here it's actually changed everything, and it looks pretty much like this. So the next thing we want to do, if you look at this font from afar, it doesn't look that good. There are lots of rough corners and everything, so we don't want that. And the way we're going to change the font is using CSS, of course. So go ahead to fonts.google.com, and then that's where we're going to browse for a font called Quicksand. And you can see right here you have a font like that. So Quicksand is a font that looks pretty nice. So we're going to actually use a specimen of Quicksand. You can actually preview text and everything. So for example, if we tried home, it would look like this. And the specimen that we're going to use is actually regular 400. So go ahead and select this style, and that should show you your selected family list, which should have hopefully nothing except Quicksand regular 400. And we're also going to go ahead and use another very favorite font of mine called Railway. So something that I use almost every single time I use Google Fonts. And go ahead and select Extra Light 200. So now you have both of these, and then the next thing we need to do is use it on the web. So go ahead and copy this link right over here, paste it right above your Bootstrap link, and then if you indent it and you refresh, obviously nothing's going to happen, but now we'll be able to use Railway and Quicksand. So we'll go ahead and get that right away on the text. So if you look here, everything that is inside this smaller section called the collapse section, which actually collapses, has a .nav link class. So that is one selector. So we'll just do an a.nav link as well as an a.navbar brand, I think. Navbar brand, right? Yeah. So a.navbar brand, and that will allow us to select both of them, and we're going to give them a font family of quicksand, and then we'll back it up with sans serif. So now when we refresh the page, the font should look different, and it does. So it looks quite a bit better, and this is what we're going to use. So now if I click on these links, obviously nothing happens, but if you see right here, they're pretty, the font color of all of these are pretty light, other than the one that's selected. And if you see right here, it's actually an active class that gives it the bolder font. So now what we need to do next is get to the home page part of our web page. So what the main part of our home page is going to have a basically a section right over here that looks that's basically going to be our carousel, which is something that Bootstrap gives us, and we're going to search for carousel right now, and then just go scrolling down all the way until the with indicators section. So just copy it and paste it all the way down here, and that should create a carousel for us. Obviously these images don't have any sources, so what we're going to do is actually get a few royalty-free images that we can use as basically default images for the carousel. So if you go ahead and search for royalty-free images of products, so that'll just give us a nice product sort of homepage. So see right here, I'll copy the image address, and that'll be my first one. Okay, and just do that for the other two. Obviously you can fill it in using whatever you want. Maybe we'll just use these headphones. Okay, so copy image address. Okay, and I'll just use one more. Headphones. So I'll just search for headphones, and so the next thing that we need to do is use our so let's copy this, paste it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this last image right here. It doesn't really matter. Copy image address, paste it in here. Okay. So let's go ahead and see how that looks like. And obviously they're gonna not look that good because of the size. Like one is this big, the other one just breaks to another size because they're not all the same size. So we're gonna use CSS to make it look better, and I can't even see. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that using CSS by selecting the carousel class from our CSS file, and then just giving it a width or a height of something that is much more standard. So open up your CSS, and you will see you will need to select carousel. You could also select carousel inner, but carousel is fine. More standard to use that. And then just go ahead and just give it a height. So a height, let's see if 500 pixels is good enough. And obviously you just play around with the values until it looks good enough. So now you'll see it's much more, all of them just are the exact same size. 500 pixels is way too much. Try 300. And once you get the right size, okay, it still doesn't look. Okay, so I guess dot carousel inner needs to be, no, I refresh the page. Okay, so dot carousel inner needs to be having that height of whatever you want. So 100, 700, no, 650. Okay, so once you've played around with the values, currently 550 looks good enough for me. You can actually go ahead and style the next part of our web page, which is the products. So they're going to be like cards on the web page, and they are going to occupy the rest of the page. And then in the end, of course, there's going to be some other items. So let's go ahead and get those ready. So I'm just going to create one sample, one sort of template product card. So just create a div with the class of section or product section, and then inside that I'm going to have an h2 with the class of product header, product head. And then the next thing you have to do is create the sort of image. We want an image as the background. Actually, we'll just give that div a background image. Then we also want some text, so p with the class product info. And then in the end, we want a button with the class of button btn primary. And this is all Bootstrap classes, and then we are just going to give one class so that we can select it using our CSS. So product button. Okay, so this is going to create our sort of template title, and right here I'll give a heading, or I'll just give it a product. And then here I'm going to do a lorem 30, because that creates 30 lorem ipsum words. And then in the end, I'm going to create just order now. Okay. So now it looks like this. Doesn't look that good. We have no styling on it. So what the next thing we need to do is actually give this a sort of width so that it's constrained to some width. And so what the plan is we're going to create 3 different cards. So there's going to be 3 different cards that we can use, sort of product sections, and that's going to be styled using CSS. So the first thing we need to do is select our dot product section class, and we're going to give it a width of, and obviously everything is responsive. So dot product section is going to have a class of, let's see, width is going to have be 33%. First page, and it looks like this. How about we do 32%, so we can actually use the extra for our margins. So width is going to be 32%, and then I'm going to create one more of this product. So I'm going to give it a text and line center, so that everything is center aligned. Makes it look better. And now everything is centered. So the next thing we need to do is give it a background image. How about we just give it a background color? So this first one is going to be, we just give all of them a light sea green. Page. Okay, it looks like this. So the next thing we need to do, give them margins, and I'm going to create 2 of these, actually 3. So copy it, paste. Okay. And I have 4 of these, so we'll see how it looks like. Okay, so you can see there's a problem. They actually are taking up the whole width with their margin, so we need to give them a display of inline block. And this should make it look better. So when we do that, let's go ahead and do that. Anyway. Inline block, and then the next thing we need to do is make them have a bit more height. It doesn't look that good currently, so we actually want a margin underneath the heading, and we also want a margin on top of the heading. So we're going to style the heading using .product section, .product head, which is what I used. Obviously, you could also do .product section and then select the H2 inside it, whatever is more convenient for you. However, this is more specific, so even if there was another header inside, you wouldn't need to create, you wouldn't need to change anything. So let's do that using a height of 100 pixels. Let's see how tall they are right now. They're currently 196 pixels, so maybe 250 would be better. Fresh, and this is how, okay, this is how it looks. So, oh, whoops, this should be in here, first page, and it looks like this. So we'll go ahead and get this margin underneath the carousel. So I'll just select this .product section, and on top of it, I'm just going to give a margin top of 20 pixels. Okay. And how about we actually just, this is going to be quite a bit of a problem when we get to the overflow, because then these also get margins. So we're actually going to select the .carousel and then give that a margin, margin bottom, sorry, of 20 pixels. First page, and this is how it looks. Okay. And so the next thing we want to do is get the this margin right over here, so it all is spaced out, and this is going to require a bit of math. So if you think about it, you have this is 32%, right? So you have the. So I'm just going to basically show you how it looks like. So you have 32% with section, and then we have 3 of those, so that takes up currently 96%. Then they all have margins, margin right of, let's take a look at how much they have margin right of. I don't see any margin rights. So currently let's just go ahead and get this centered properly. And the way I'm going to do that is just by wrapping all of this inside a div dot products. And then what we do, instead of giving the product sections a div, is just removing this text line center, right? And we are going to just select dot products. And it should be pretty much the same, except for the margins on the right side and left side, which looks much better. Give this a width of 33%, and it'll still be the same thing. However, there will be much less margin. And so I guess that looks good enough. So the next thing we need to do is, obviously you don't want this to look like this. So most probably, instead of just creating dynamically these product cards, we'll just create an even number of them that are divisible by 3. So that it goes the whole width across, so it looks like this, all of them. So the first thing we need to do is change the font of this. So and we're also going to change the color. So if you go here and go give it a color of white, touch the page, see if that's possible to see. Okay, not that bad, honestly. Now I'm going to change the, how about we just give a color of white to the product head. Okay, more easier to see. And now we're going to give it a font family of Railway. And this is just for the product head. So, Railway, sounds 3. Now, refresh the page. You see it looks a bit different. Now I'm going to give a padding for the product section, and we'll just give it a padding all. So it's just going to have a padding everywhere and inside. So we'll give it a padding of 10 pixels. Okay. So this is how it looks like. Currently it looks pretty good. The next thing we need to do is make these cards a bit bigger. It still doesn't look like how it should look, so we'll make it 300 pixels. See how that looks, and that's basically what we want. So the next thing we want to do is give a different font for this product information, and you can select that using dot product info. However, if we just select dot product section and give it whatever we want, then it's going to select everything other than the product head, because that's getting a different style. So just go ahead and give a font family attribute to the product section class selection, and we're going to give it quicksand, back it up with sans serif. Refresh the page, and it looks different. It looks better as well. So one thing that you might want to do is give a bit of margin underneath the header. So go ahead to product head, margin bottom, and we'll give it a margin bottom of 20 pixels. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, and then we'll also give the product info. So now we need to select the dot product info and give that a margin bottom as well. That'll be 30 pixels. Okay, about 40. Okay, that looks good. Just change it to 50. Okay. And so the next thing you want to do, perhaps, most probably you want to round this out. So if you're not giving borders, usually people round out these cards. The way you do that, it's really easy. Select the dot product section and give it a border radius, and we'll give it a small border radius. So how about 3 pixels? See how that looks. Okay, and it's just a little bit rounded, which is what we want. So the next thing we're going to do is give the dot product section a border bottom, because we want to separate the overflowing product sections and this as well. So we'll give it a white, so it looks pretty much like there's a margin, or this sort of divider, and that'll just be a small 3 pixel solid white. First page, and you can see there is a small gap between these overflowed product sections, and that also looks nice, even if there isn't an even amount of product sections. However, obviously you can do what you want and customize it to your needs. So that's pretty much it for the product homepage. Maybe we want to, let's see, what else would be there inside a sort of product homepage. Okay, maybe we want to do another div at the bottom. So we'll give a div with a class of end screen end. How about we just create a footer as well? So we'll create a footer which says all the usual things, the copyright and everything. And so the color that we're going to use is a light gray, but that's going to be styled using CSS, obviously. So all this is going to have is just this much. And if we take a look at how this looks, so I've gone ahead and styled quite a few of these things. So this all these anchor tags have a color white, font family of quicksand and sans serif, and also a display block. Actually, I'll just get rid of that. So now when I refresh the page, it looks like this, which is pretty much how we want to look like. However, we want the footer to become quite a bit larger. So just give it a height, and a height of 100 pixels should be good enough. Okay. So we'll go ahead and give a text align center to this as well, so that it just looks a bit better. And then the last thing that we're going to do, actually give these anchor, so this is not the last thing, the anchor tags are going to have a margin right of, let's see, 5 pixels. We'll do it based on the percentage, so that it's more responsive. Okay, looks like this. And then we want a last one underneath all of this. And how about I just wrap, actually no. And then I'll just create a line break. And then what I'm going to do is create a copyright, which is the last thing we're going to do, other than linking to the sign-up form. So and copy creates a copyright symbol. So you can't see that right now, but because it's black and you can barely see it. However, if I wrap this in a span, give it a class of copyright, and then place this and copy, and then what you want to do is type in whatever your website's name is, 2000 to 2021, maybe, whatever you want. Okay, so you can change it to whatever year you want, and then obviously what you can do is select this dot copyright span. So dot copyright, and then we'll just give it a color of white. Also a font railway sans serif. Refresh the page, and you see it looks like this. It looks pretty good, and that's the last thing that we're going to do using HTML other than linking. So let's go ahead and get right to that, which is going to be the last thing that we do in this video. So refresh the page, it looks like this. And now what we need to do is actually get this link right here working. Super easy. Just go ahead to your sign up form, or to your sign up link. Change the href to be whatever path it is. So if your sign up form is in the same folder as your HTML file, home.html, then you can just give in the name of the file right away. So if yours is called signup.html, then you would just do this. However, currently mine's is in the signup folder. So what I'm going to do is do signup slash and then whatever I want. So I'm going to choose signup.html. So signup slash signup.html. Now when I refresh the page, I'm going to click this. Hopefully it shows me this, and this is exactly what we want. So obviously I don't have a nav bar up here, so I'm not going to be able to navigate back, but anyways, you saw how you can link to files using this href. And so basically that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you understood what all I've covered. And please subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Share the video with friends and family. And I hope to see you next time on How To's by the Code House. Obviously, if you have any requests, please comment down below. I'm really lacking inspiration, and I don't know what else to create videos on. So please do that as well. And also we update our channel every 2 days, so stay tuned.